very important. Then another key issue is detection of non-compliance with laws. Detection of non-compliance with laws. Detection of non-compliance with laws and regulations. Now, candidates, by now I know you are aware that the directors are responsible for the prevention and detection of fraud, errors, and non-compliance with the law or regulations. So within the audit engagement letter, the governance auditor should state that I or we as governance auditors shall maintain an attitude of professional skepticism, recognizing that material non-compliance issues could exist, notwithstanding our past experience. So the role of detection of non-compliance with laws or regulations remains the responsibility of the management. Okay? The management is responsible for 1, prevention, 2, detection of errors, fraud, and any non-compliance with laws or regulations. The next key issue is responsibility of governance auditor after issuance of the governance audit report. The responsibility of the governance auditor. Remember, we discussed the responsibility of governance auditor in point number 1, but here we are stating the responsibility of the governance auditor after issuance of the governance audit report. After issuance of the governance audit report. This responsibility is in relation to the report, governance audit report, after issuance of the governance audit report. Now, the governance auditor should state in the governance audit engagement letter that we have no further direct responsibility in relation to governance and compliance issues of that reporting year, all right? However, we expect that the directors will inform us of any material event thereafter which has an effect on governance and compliance. That is a very key issue that should be addressed in the governance audit engagement letter. Responsibility of the governance auditor after issuance of the governance audit report. So candidates, you are expected to give 5 issues. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Any 5 of these 7 issues could earn you 5 marks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, candidates, these are key issues that should be addressed in the governance audit engagement letter. It should be noted that these are not the only key issues. There are more issues like reliance on governance audit report by third parties. The governance auditor can also indicate in the engagement letter that we or our audit opinion is addressed to the members of the organization in their capacity as members or shareholders. We are talking about reliance on the governance audit report by third parties. Let me put it down, candidates. A very important issue, reliance on the governance audit report by third parties. The governance auditor should indicate clearly in the engagement letter that the audit opinion is addressed to the members of the organization in their capacity as members or shareholders, and that the audit will not be planned or conducted in contemplation of reliance by any third party or with respect to any specific transaction. I have another key issue. Another issue can be in relation to working papers. Working papers together with the ownership rights of these papers, and ownership rights and ownership rights. It's important for the governance auditor to state within the engagement letter that the working papers and files for the engagement created by the governance auditor, including the electronic documents and files, are the sole property of the governance auditor, so that there is no confusion or conflict as to who owns the working papers. To avoid such confusion or contradictions, it's important for the governance auditor to state clearly in the contract that the working papers and files created after the engagement are the sole property of the governance auditor. So these are additional key issues. 8, 9. Then moving on to the second part of the question, I read, recent years have witnessed increased incidences of procurement fraud. With reference to Mwongozo, the Code of Governance for State Corporations, or equivalent document in your country, discuss 5 broad governance practices with respect to procurement processes. 5 marks.
The COVID-19 pandemic has forced many students to turn to internet forums such as Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Facebook, YouTube, among others. These platforms present myriad of challenges like internet failure, poor and unstable audio, distorted video quality, fixed schedules, blackouts, class interruptions, among many others. Students who study at manifested e-learning platform do not experience such problems. No internet is required to study. You can actually download all content at once, prepare your own timetable, and study at your own pace. The video lectures are laced with study techniques and exam tips. Lectures are carefully selected from distinguished institutions of learning like Strathmore, KCA, UON, TUC, among others.
That we are transmitting.
Offering learning materials is our core business. For the last 15 years, we have diligently and consistently provided support for students. Leverage on our experience to boost your chances of passing the impending CASNEP exams. Download pre-recorded CASNEP video lectures at www.manifestedpublishers.com and study offline. For more inquiries, call 0724 173 845.